Hi, this is Mr. Manley. This is just a quick little video to show how to solve a particular type of trig problem. I'm going to be given that tangent t is equal to 2 over 3. And if that's true, then I want to, 1, find out sine of t, and 2, I want to find out tangent of negative t. So what we're going to use here is that tangent of theta is equal to y over x. So that means that 2 is going to be our y and 3 is going to be our x. And then sine of t is equal, so I go sine theta, that is equal to, so sine of theta is equal to y over r. All right, well, I've got my y here, right? If you are reading this, you see we've got our y. So I've got that part. So sine of t is equal to 2 because y is equal to 2. And then I need r, right? Well, there's this other relationship between x, y, and r. And if we look at a general circle on an xy axis, we see that if I take a point here, and that point, I can build a right triangle around it where that's y, that's x, and that's r. So that should look familiar. Well, if I have a right triangle with x, y, and r like that, we can see that x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared. It's just a Pythagorean theorem applied in this particular case. So for this problem that we're looking at, we are going to, if we say we're going to solve for r, we have x squared is 3 plus y squared is 2, and that's equal to r squared. So we get r is equal to the square root of 13. And now I can fill in for this sine t here. So I got 2 over rad 13. Okay, so that's the first part of the problem. The second part of the problem is sine of negative t. And there's actually a formula that students might memorize in order to do this, but I want to take a look at let's see if we can logic it out and figure out if we know what the sine, if we know what the tangent of t is. All right, so say I go here. Now, remember, in all this discussion, t is an angle. This t that we're talking about is an angle. So if I go back to this trig circle down at the bottom right, and I go, okay, I went here, and that was t. That was an angle t. And then I got some value, some trig value for this based upon whatever x and y were. Well, what would negative t be? Negative t would be here, down here, right? That direction. And what would the coordinates be? It would still be x, but it would be negative y. So the tangent of t, if the tangent of t is equal to y over x, that being the y and the x that I'm using, then the tangent of negative t is equal to negative y over x, given that this is the y. Okay? So I can say that the tangent of negative t, if the tangent of t is equal to, if we look up at the original, what was originally given, if the tangent of t is equal to 2 over 3, then the tangent of negative t is equal to negative 2 over 3. And those would be our two solutions. So we found sine of t. We could rationalize that denominator if you want. You don't have to. And then there's tangent of negative t. All right, there are, I'll just look at the formulas. These are formulas that are given in a text on trigonometry. And as you see, what we did here was we were asked for the tangent of the negative angle in this one here. We were asked for the tangent of negative t, and then in the formula that's given, the tangent of negative is equal to the opposite of the tangent. So in that case back here, I could have said, well, since tangent is 2/3, the tangent of negative t is equal to the opposite of that, which is negative 2/3. And but I just went through some logic on a trig circle to determine what the value would be. But like I said, we do have these formulas, and you see that there are formulas for cosine, the cosine of the opposite of an angle, and the sine of the opposite of an angle. Okay, so hopefully you'll encounter some problems and be able to possibly logic it out. Certainly use this formula here, x squared plus y squared equals r squared, and you're aware of these formulas as well.